why it's important to break from your social narrative. What's up? I'm here on a beautiful postcard of Copenhagen, not actually in reality here. Here to talk to you today about social narratives and why it is ideal to break from them. Basically, what is a social narrative? A social narrative is the kind of restrictions that you put on yourself and the sort of box that you just naturally bring yourself into. Examples of this are like, I don't have any disrespect for this. I don't drink. Like, oh, I don't drink. Like, that's one thing. Or, I drink all the time. That's another one. Or, I only date white girls. Or, I only date black girls. Or, what's another one? I love the I will never. I will never go skydiving. I will never go to Thailand, I'll never visit a third world country. Some of mine are, I will never visit a third world country. I will never rent a motorbike and drive around an island. Not that specific, but I'll never rent a motorbike. I'll never go to the bathroom in a squat toilet. These are all things that I thought I'm never gonna do that. I'd never do that. And in retrospect, it's kind of silly, really, because there's just so much to life and to experience in general. And it's important to break from that, because I can tell you right now, let's say if I had never gone to Australia, if I had never studied abroad the first time, I sure as heck wouldn't have studied abroad a second time. And it has definitively changed my life. So if you have the opportunity to study abroad, do it. But yeah, just breaking that social narrative and not falling into your own limitations. Obviously, there's limitations that other people give to you, like you're the funny one, So now your body, your mind, your unconscious mind is more likely to look for ways to be funny. Or oh, you're the troublemaker. Now you'll probably, in many cases, end up being the person who ends up being the troublemaker. But this isn't obviously an absolute case. This is just kind of, these things happen on occasion. I know I get self-conscious or I start to think stupid things when I am told, oh, you're stupid. At least I did in grade school. Your social narrative, the values that you place on yourself, they can be good in that they give you, perspective. They give you like a certain sense of culture, a sense of belonging. But at the same time, they can also be kind of constrictive. Maybe you're not somebody who falls into like what the culture wants. Maybe you wanted to go and do your own thing. And basically working on that muscle of breaking that social narrative for yourself, like, I will never go to a third world country, or I will never travel to the south of my country, wherever you live. You can break that, and by working on little tiny bits, or I'll never eat spaghetti, or something like that, like tasting spaghetti, just completely shattering things that you thought you'd never do. It helps you to live a more fuller, a more in-depth life, because life, a lot of rich people especially have very a vast array of experiences, like a very wide range of experiences. But let's say, like, if you were very rich and you wanted to travel the world, but you only stayed in the airports and the airport lounges, well, you didn't really travel, did you? You didn't really struggle hoping that you couldn't pay your rent in Thailand. You didn't really watch two of your friends bail on a motorbike, on the way to a mountain city in Thailand. Walk through the temples of Cambodia, like things, if you're in the airport, you're not going to get those things. And in the same way, if you, let yourself fall into those kinds of your own social narrative, your own limitations, it just keeps you from living like the life that you could have wanted. Like, you'll never really know if renting a motorbike was a horrible idea unless you go and do it. Or like me today, or yesterday, I actually arrived at this island with no accommodation plans, no booking, and I had a little bit of an idea where I was going to get the bike, and luckily the bike worked out perfect. That was kind of all I really needed, just knowing that I was going to get that bike. But yeah, so breaking that social narrative really helps to give you a more depth to your life as opposed to breadth, I think is the word. Like the width of your life, the span is great, but if you only have like 3 things, going deeper is probably better than having like 10 things, but like barely even touching them. And that's just kind of like the idea that I want to kind of bring up, is breaking that social narrative, and creating a deeper life, like a life with more depth. And you'll find yourself being more interesting. You'll find people relate to you better, and you may not even know why. It's a better life to live. So with that said, I'm going to go continue exploring this gorgeous island, and I will see you guys next time.